Hello, Shannon.
Hi, this is Shannon Rose at the Rose Hollywood Report. First question for you is talk a little about your upcoming project and what you're doing.
Well, what I'm here to talk to you about today is the Colonel Sanders Cookbook and Autobiography. It's an application that you can download free on the KFC Facebook page, and it's a collection of 33 never-seen-before recipes, as well as an autobiography that the Colonel wrote in his own words. It's a great, fun read. It's got a lot of life lessons. It's got a lot of funny stories to it.
Now, are we going to actually find out the original recipe? Are we going to get any clues to that?
No, not the original fried chicken recipe. But what you do find out is that the Colonel was a lot more than just fried chicken. And actually, he had a lot of recipes that, you know, for me, some of them are equally as good as the fried chicken. And he gives you all those other recipes.
Now, talk a little about one of the best dishes you've ever. Would you say it would be?
So I came up with 3 dishes which to me are hands down just like classics. The first one's a fried red tomato, not green tomatoes actually, but red vine tomatoes. Just, you know, breadcrumbs, herbs, fry them on both sides. They kind of were a side dish in his book, but I decided they were so good I wanted to turn it into a salad. So I have this. I made a little buttermilk sour cream dressing with tarragon, chives, and mint. It's kind of really refreshing. A little bit of bib lettuce and just throw it on top. It's so simple, but it's really, really good. Next up is a classic, iconic Southern stew, chicken Brunswick stew. It's got corn, it's got tomatoes, lima beans, chicken. It's got a lot of fresh herbs. You're not going to find any simpler recipe that gives you this much flavor. It's like, it takes 2 hours. It's really simple. It's a great classic. And then last but not least, my hands down favorite recipe. It's so good I didn't even do anything to the recipe. It's the upside down peach cobbler. I put it in a sort of a cute little cast iron skillet. I take it right out of the oven while it's still hot, and I put some buttermilk whipped cream on top. I think it's something that the Colonel would be proud of. And you know, these 3 together, for me, it's a great sort of easy to do, but classic Southern meal. It's fun. You can download all these recipes. There's so many more just like them. It's the KFC Facebook page, and go try them and sort of come up with your own versions of them, because they're really fun to do.
Now, I heard there's a unique thing about you. You actually like, dealing with fish with your bare hands, and why is that?
Well, I like to do a lot of things with my bare hands, but for me, it's you know, I grew up in Brooklyn, so a lot of it is just a sense of adventure. I've moved to Kentucky 9 years ago, and I've done everything from shoot guns to ride horses to fish barehanded, and it's kind of like a life. And honestly, if you in some weird way, I think that I have a lot in common with the Colonel. After reading his autobiography, he was one of these guys that just kind of always kept on going and persevering and was really curious and trying new things. And so, you know, it's a weird thing that I ended up here. It's a weird thing that I'm sort of connected now to the Colonel. But it's quite an honor to be in this project.
Now, being a celebrity chef, who has been the most fun to work with, to cook for, as far as a celebrity, being that I work in Hollywood?
You know, a lot. Well, here's the thing: we don't get a lot of celebrities in Kentucky, but Derby time we get a lot of celebrities, and it's one time a year. So I've cooked for a ton of people. I will say one of the most fun people was John Legend. He came in with his girlfriend, and they were just, you know, ready to have a good time. They were really complimentary. They were just fun to hang out with.
Now, my last question for you is this.
Yeah.
Now, I'm very particular and very fickle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big person with certain meals. When someone's so particular about what they want to eat, how do you cook for them? You know, especially if you're a chef, a celebrity chef, and you're cooking for these high-profile people. How do you cook, or even with this new cookbook, what do you recommend for somebody as fickle as I am?
Well, I recommend that you not be so fickle, first of all. But if you have to be that fickle, you know, honestly, for most people, I think if you kind of just try to show them that just try one thing new. I always tell people, just try one thing new, you know. And if you don't like it, that's fine. But most of the time I do that, and I find that people are actually kind of more open-minded than they think they are, as long as the food tastes good. So, you know, even with the book, I'd say, go through it. If there's one recipe you'd never heard of, try it. you know, and more likely than not, you're probably going to like it.
Very good. Well, this has been Shannon Rose, the Rose Hollywood Report. Thank you for joining me.